Hi guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a Skinner Blend bullseye cane. Now I created the Skinner Blend in an earlier video, which was my 2-part Skinner Blend tutorial, and I'll include that link in the links below if you want to check that out. But basically for this tutorial you need a 2-part Skinner Blend. So what you're going to need to do is you want to lengthen out this Skinner Blend. So you'll fold it in half. Now mine is cracked around the edges, and that is because I've left it for a little while. This has been lying around in my bags for about a week to maybe 2 weeks. So that's why it's cracked. Depending on how long you leave your clay around, it can crack like that. I just like to mend it up by squishing it, but yours shouldn't do that if you've done the Skinner Blend recently. So I just wanted to make that clear because I'm sure that some of you would have gotten confused as to why it was cracking. Don't worry, that's just because I've left it around for a little while. And it's no big deal. So you'll just form it into a lengthy piece like this, and you'll roll it through on your pasta machine on your thickest setting. And this time we are lengthening the Skinner Blend. So this is the exact opposite of what we do in usual Skinner Blend, in my other Skinner Blend videos. So I'm just going to went to go butt these things up because it cracked a little bit there. Then you'll go down another 2 settings or so. I'm going down to my number 5, I was on my number 7. And you'll just run it through your pasta machine again. Like that. Then you go down another 2 settings. I'm on my 3 now, and you'll just run it through as well. Now when you go down to the thinner settings, I find that if you crank your handle on your pasta machine faster, it prevents ripples to a certain degree. Now I don't really want to go down any further because on my white over here, which is a bit softer than the cobalt, it's starting to ripple, so I can presume that on the number 2 I'll probably get some rippling. So this is long enough for a Skinner Blend bullseye cane. So I'm going to bring you over to the tile and I'll show you what we will do next. Okay, so we're back over at the tile. And now you want to decide which colour you want to be the centre of your bullseye cane. I want it to be the white, so I'm going to start with the white. It doesn't really matter which colour you start with, but I generally like making the white my first colour because I find that usually all my coloured clays like the Cobalt Primo are a bit more dominant than my white, and so I have less white than I have in the other colour. So this is, I just have quite a bit more of the other colour, so it's better to start with the smaller colour in the middle, and this means that your bullseye cane will look better. I hope that was clear. But anyway, all you'll do is you'll just roll it up like so, and you want to take a bit of time to do it because you can trap air bubbles in this process. And air bubbles are something that you want to avoid when you're doing polymer clay, so you want to just roll it up and apply. You want to have a firm roll, but you don't want to have such a firm roll that you're squishing it. So that's something that I find that you'll get a feel for as you do the canes. Now if you do get some air bubbles in, don't worry, we can get that out while reducing, but it's best to reduce the number of air bubbles in the first place. So what you'll do now that you've rolled it up is I like to just reduce it a little bit to squeeze out any other air bubbles that I might have trapped. And what I do is I grab it with both hands in a pincer formation, so you've got crab claws, and you pinch, rotate, pinch, rotate, pinch, rotate, and you carry on doing that all the way up and down the cane. And then once you're happy with you've pinched enough, you can roll it occasionally to get back in a round shape, because by pinching your cane, you're going to distort it a little bit. So you want to keep it, you want to roll it every now and then to keep it round. So I've already reduced that quite a bit. Now I will bring over your tissue blade and you'll just cut the end of your canes. Now the reason I do this is because the ends don't look so good. But once you've cut it off, this is what you should end up with. A Skinner Blend bullseye cane. Now the ends are always going to not look as good as further towards the middle, so what I like to do sometimes, if my cane is large enough, I like to cut it through the middle and see what it actually looks like. And this is the best part of the cane, so you can see truly what it actually looks like. So I'll just bring that up to show you. So you can see we have a lovely Skinner blend. So I'm going to go ahead and get some examples of what you can use this technique for, as I'm sure that you'll want to see that. So I'll go ahead and do that and I'll be back in just a second. Now here's another Skinner blend that I did, and this was using mica clays, and you can see that you get a different effect with mica clays than you would from opaque clays. And you would get a different effect from translucent clays as well. So depending on which type of clay you're using, you could get a different effect. Now here are some finished examples of me using a bullseye cane. So in these little souffle beads, I'm just going to turn up the light a bit. There we go. In these little souffle beads with the flowers over here, I used a Skinner Blend bullseye cane here, and that was a yellow to red bullseye cane, and I used that in a more complex flower cane, and so it can be used in flower canes. And so it's quite a versatile technique. There's lots of things that you can do with it. It doesn't have to stay in a round shape. You can put it into a petal shape. You can squish them together and bunch them all together and maybe make a lace cane. By the way, I'm going to provide a link to a lace cane in the links below as well if you want to have a look. So play around with the bullseye cane. It's a base cane, so many of the tutorials that I'm going to be showing will be including this cane, and so it's a cane that is used to make more complex canes. So it's an important technique to know if you're a beginner, and so I highly recommend going and trying it out and messing around with it and seeing what you can make. And also, just a side note quickly, I'll include the link to this tutorial in the description below as well, because a 3-pot Skinner blend or a more than one colour Skinner blend is also quite an important technique to learn, because in the next video that I'll be doing, I'll be showing you how to create a Skinner blend plug. So I do hope that that was helpful to you, and if you're on YouTube, I have a link to my website jessimatutorials.com. I've got articles and all sorts of other information on there that I'm sure you'll find helpful, so do please check that out, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.